just chit-chat for a minute.
So, when I heard about Brian Jones's unfortunate incident a couple of months ago with his TR4, he rolled into his garage and he saw an interesting yellow glow coming out from under his grill. He ran out and grabbed some fire extinguishers, and he actually went through 3 fire extinguishers. When he hit the switch, it just kind of went, kind of blurred out, and that was it. Before he finally, literally rolled his car out to his driveway and stuck his garden hose in the grill, and put out he had a fuel fire in the car. So it prompted me to go home and take a look at the fire extinguisher that was behind my seat that I hadn't looked at in the 3 years that I've owned my car. So this was a Halitron fire extinguisher. Halitron is this is Halon, an old non-corrosive, non-interactive ionizable gas or whatever that puts out fires, is safe in oil fires, and also doesn't leave behind a corrosive residue, and is good for electronics, it's good for computers and all that. So I said, okay, great. I looked at the gauge, and it was in the low, in the red. I said, oh, okay. So I brought it over to a fire extinguisher place over here in Jersey. And the guy looks at it and he says, oh, okay, fine, Halon, that's old stuff. And he says, well, how old is it? I have no idea. He looks at it and goes, it's got a 1990 date on it. Okay. And these things are supposed to be static tested every 11 years. So he looks at it and he says, forget it. It'll be too much money to test it and fill it. Plus, Halon, as good as it is, it's no longer made, and it's the most highly ozone depleting gas known to man. It's so bad for the ozone layer that the government hasn't even figured out a way to recycle the stuff. So the guy said to me, well, just hold on to it, keep it next to your other one, use it first, and keep the other one by your side. But the problem also with Halon, if you have Halon, is that if you do happen to use it indoors, after the fire, there's a toxic byproduct, and you literally have to vent the room before you can use it. So it's not great stuff. So I did a little homework on fire extinguishers. I put together a sheet for everybody on all the different materials. But yeah, the classes of stuff. There's dry chemical, there's plain water, there's Halon, there's carbon dioxide, and really I don't have time to go through it all, but have a look through it. If there's not enough, I'll email it to you. And you got to make a decision on what it is. The first thing I would recommend is get a fire extinguisher, check your fire extinguisher. If it's no good, get a new one. The guy that I went to suggested Halitron, which is the newer material, which is environmentally safe. The can's only a little bit bigger than the one that I had. It's got a nice bracket on it that'll fit on the roll bar or wherever. You can use some wire ties on it. And this stuff's not as environmentally bad, and it does work. The only other thing, other than some of these other dry chemicals that works that's not electrically corrosive, is carbon dioxide. The problem is, in a 5-pound carbon dioxide canister, it's about this big. So I would put carbon dioxide in the garage.
How do you know if they're no good?
Well, they all should have these gauges on it, and they should be in the green zone. Okay, and the top of these canisters are just sealed with a rubber O-ring. Over time,
the bottles are dated as well.
Yeah, correct? The bottles are all dated. So if they're more than 10 years old, they got to be static tested.
You really have to check every year.
But here's the problem: Brian Jones's were 1 year old.
Really?
Also, if you turn them upside down and hit them with a rubber hammer and stuff, if it's ammonium or whatever, it all takes the bottom. If you just turn it over and tap it once in a while, it loosens that stuff up. So
the thing is, the standard ABC ones with all that dry chemical in it, they work, they're good, but they're very corrosive and they leave behind a residue, so they leave a big mess. This stuff doesn't leave a big mess. The Halitron. And just as an aside, the guy at the fire extinguisher place here in Jersey was really nice to me. He's a car guy. I bought one for me and one for Brian.
How much are they, Bruce?
These are $110 for the Halitron. Summit sells them for $150. And the guy told me that he'd be willing to order a bunch, but he's a car guy. He actually was at Cars of England last year, he was telling me. So Yeah, if you guys want me to coordinate like a bulk order through this guy, I'm happy to do that. But the most important thing is just make sure you have a good fire extinguisher.
I think you can even upgrade them for like $20 extra and get them in chrome.
Yeah, if you want.
For those of you,
Got it, chrome.
if you need to recycle them, there's a fire extinguisher place right across from Willow Grove Mall on Easton Avenue in Glenside that sells fire extinguishers. Will also take old fire extinguishers.
Yeah.
In Glenside.
In Glenside, yes, it's in Easton Avenue across from Willow Grove Mall.
This is
So does the process 110, or is there a bulk discount?
he said he might be able to save us a little money on that if we order a bunch. If you want me to, say can we order like a dozen of them, I'm happy to do that. And here's the catalog. He's got all the different ones in there. They have another thing in there I didn't read about, something called Purple K. I don't know if anybody's familiar with that. That's supposed to be another dry chemical.
That was prevalent in the military.
Okay. But
some car shows actually require you to have an extinguisher to show your car. I don't know.
They don't require that they work, though.
Yeah.
No, they don't. But it is something to keep in mind.
But at least having one's better than...
They take a 1930 extinguisher and have a 1929 Rolls Royce.
But Bruce, you say in your shop, you should have a carbon dioxide?
You could. Carbon dioxide, because it's so big,
You can have the road, yeah.
you have the room for it, and that works, and it doesn't leave behind the residue. It does apparently leave ice crystals behind, but it's better than some sticky, corrosive
I think Purple K is
goo
what they
that you have to completely wash off your motor or your interior.
In 1975, working on my MGB, installing a stereo, 71 MGB in my dad's garage, and I got the wires backwards, and one of them starts going up in smoke. And I'm under the dash. So what do? I grab the fire extinguisher, and it's the powder one, and I spray. Because when you're a kid, you don't realize, just put your fingers on it. Put the fire, right, panic, all over the place. For like 3 years, I had little particles coming in my eyes. Because you got the vents on, just little particles of dust. So I swore I'll never use a powder extinguisher again on a car.
Well, this guy with the rover that I was telling you about, that's all he had in his car. So, when I got
made
there,
a mess.
I mean, it was a mess. But look, it's a
fire.
mess anyway.
My dad's like, would you use a fire? Just put it out of your fingers. No, I don't know,